Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, like and subscribe. I know you want it, so we've all been waiting for KAYLA MALEC to speak out and give her side of the story and respond to James Charles's apology video. So those who do not know, James Charles was friends with KAYLA MALEC, who was dating a guy called Evan Johnson. Evan Johnson was abusing KAYLA, and KAYLA has recently won the court case against Evan Johnson. Within this time, James Charles was not taking KAYLA's side at all. When they first broke up, even with James knowing what KAYLA had gone through, she had told James. James flew out Evan Johnson to California, took him into his house, and apparently was trying to help him deal with a cancellation. Basically grooming him, really, when you think about it. I mean, he was trying to manipulate to hook up with him because apparently he fancied him the whole time. But are we surprised? This is what, James Charles has done this kind of thing multiple times already. So so James Charles made an apology video after the court verdict. Everyone has been waiting on KAYLA's response since, but obviously KAYLA's just won a court case about a really serious situation. KAYLA wants a few days, a few moments, however long KAYLA needs to process it and, enjoy her victory, right? It's a big deal. KAYLA has finally released a TikTok series. There's 3 parts to this TikTok series of KAYLA talking about everything that went down with receipts, the whole shebang, honey. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play the first part and then speak about it, second part, speak about it. You guys can let me know down below exactly what you guys are thinking of the whole situation as we go through this video. So are we ready? I'm gonna play the first part right here for you guys.
Well, I'm sure by now everybody knows about the situation with me and James. And everybody has told their side of the story except me. And in my opinion, I was the one fucked over. So it's only fair for me to tell my side of the story, how I was fucked over. And I wanted to wait a little bit, have a little bit more time to just relish in the fact that I won in court. But the response video was posted an hour after I announced that I won my court case. 1 hour. So I have all of my bullet points written down next to me, and I hope I could do this all in one part, but everybody told their side, and like I said, in my opinion, I was the one fucked over here. So to start off, I would not consider me and James to be best friends at all. I don't even think I'd consider us close friends. We've collabed a few times. I went over to his house, what was that, 9 months ago to help him promote his company on live stream. We would text here and there about certain things, but it was definitely not we were best friends. I trying to put this into it's kind of like that one person that's in your class at school that you're mutuals with. Y'all are acquaintances. We were acquaintances, but I don't think that excuses anything that happens, in my opinion, but that's the best way to describe it. We definitely were not best friends. We were not that close, but we were acquaintances. We were not best friends in any way. But this all starts almost immediately when I made me and Evan's relationship public on TikTok. So I had posted a video with Evan next to me, and me and James have never DM'd on TikTok. The only previous messages we had on TikTok was us collab posting from when we would film together when I started my Glow Up series, like I was just talking about. And he sends me my video. I don't know how you do it. He sent me the video, and then under it he said, "Girl, who is this?" And I was like, "Oh, this new guy that I met. I think I'm in love. Ha 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 ha." Then a month and a half later, he slides up on another video of me and Evan together. We have not DM'd on TikTok since this. And it's a video of us dancing together at Yosemite, and James slides up and says, "Girl, he's so hot." And I'm just like, haha, yeah, whatever, cool. So at that point, that's the only time that we would text was about him saying how hot Evan was, which is whatever. I didn't care. I didn't think anything of it, whatever. So fast forward to October, and me, Evan, Emma, and Brennan all get invited to a birthday party. We get there, and lo and behold, James is there. And Evan and James have not met at this point, obviously. The only thing that's been said is how hot James thinks Evan is, which is fine, whatever. So I see James, I say hi to him, and I introduce them to each other. And they're just talking for a fat minute. I don't know what really they were talking about. I wasn't really in the conversation. I was talking to Lila. I was talking to my other friends. I wasn't really in the conversation. And I don't know how accurate this is. I was not listening to the conversation, but Evan did tell me after that James was just saying how Evan was the hottest guy at the bar and he was the hottest guy there. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, but that's what I was told James was saying, is just how hot he was. And once again, I brush it off. Haha, funny, whatever, like, whatever. Like, I don't care, you know? So then, 2 months after that, I get another DM from James. On December 17th, I had posted a video of us at Hawaii together, and James, once again, our only DMs is him once again being like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. So literally, the only DMs we have in the past year is him saying how hot my boyfriend is. Cool, whatever. Just like, what the, like, looking at this shit now, what the fuck? It's not funny. I'm just like, what the fuck? So yeah, like at this point, the only things I've heard is how hot he thinks my boyfriend is. Cool, whatever. So now from December, it's January. And me, Brennan, Emma, and my boyfriend are in Hawaii. And this was the trip that we ended up breaking up and all of that shit happened. It's about the third night that we're there. And I don't know if I'm allowed to include this. I'm going to anyways. But we're all sitting on the balcony of our Airbnb talking. And Evan starts saying that James is DMing him on Instagram. And immediately I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing James? Like, immediately I'm just like, fuck no. Like, you're not gonna do that. That's weird in my opinion. And at this point, our relationship was basically already over. And even Brennan was like, and Emma were like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you DMing him on Instagram? So we look over at the phone and Evan sends James a picture on Instagram. So like, you know how you snap on Snapchat, like doing that on Instagram, like sending pictures back and forth. And Evan is like, you should go to Hawaii with us. And James sends back this saying like, why should I come to Hawaii? And that, for the first time, is when I was like, what the fuck? And I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure they continued to text throughout the night. I was not like caring enough to go through his phone. I was just like, why are you messaging him? And I just, red flags. It was just so fucking weird. Because mind you, at this point, me and James don't text. Like, me and James aren't even texting like that. James is only texting me to say how hot he is. And now he's sending him snaps over Instagram saying, why should I come to Hawaii? Like, that's fucking weird. I would only do that if I'm like trying to fuck or if I'm trying to flirt, you know? Like, it was just weird. So I don't know if they texted anymore throughout the night. I have no idea. I do know that all of their texts are over Instagram. So fast forward, literally 2 weeks past this, me and Evan have broken up, and literally the day after we break up, James texts me, and he basically is asking me and Evan to be a part of this painted commercial video. And it was supposed to be like me and Evan, and it was like a couple thing, and it was for Valentine's Day. So I respond, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but we just broke up, ha ha ha. So I text James that we have broken up, and basically the first thing he says in response is, can I have him now? Just responds, can I have him now? And then was like, ha ha ha, just kidding. What happened? I then proceed to tell him that, let me actually like read the text like word for word. I'm gonna green screen this part, everything else I'm inserting in, but I wanna read this like word for word. So yeah, do you wanna be in a painted video with your man? I explained that we broke up. I was gonna do a 30-part series. And mind you, he is the only person that I told, because this is a day after we officially broke up, he is the only person I told about a quote 30-part series that I was gonna film about what I had went through. He goes, what? I go, girl, he's fucking crazy. And then there we go. What happened? Can I have him now? Once again, didn't really think much of it, but my senses were a little bit heightened now after the whole Hawaii Instagram DMing situation. But whatever. Then tell him, imagine the worst things a human can do. It would take hours to text, but you'll see this series soon. He then asks again about if I'm actually doing a series, which I'll explain why that has a lot to do with more going on. But he asks again about the series, then says, I'm sorry. And I go, oh, just wait. I gave this man a platform based off his lies and abuse. I'm gonna wait to heal from it and then clock it, which I did do. And then he goes, shit, I'm sorry, Kayla. And I said, you're good, thank you. So that was the last time we texted until he flew Evan out to California. But in these, I made it pretty clear that Evan had fucked me over. I brought up abuse, the worst thing a human can do. I mean, I obviously Obviously did not go into depth with what I had went through. At this point, like James said in his video, my friends didn't even know, my family didn't even know the full story. Nobody knew the full story. And obviously, I don't expect him to sit there and ask, you know, oh, well, what happened? I don't expect him to do that. I get feeling uncomfortable in that situation, but I made it crystal fucking clear that I was fucked over in a pretty big way. And holy fucking shit, I do not want to have to make a part 2. But I'm at 9 minutes and 47 seconds, so I'm going to have to. And also, shut the fuck up. I'm not on the creator program. I'm not getting paid for any of this shit. I'm just clocking the fucking tea. So
Kayla confirms that James was after her ex-boyfriend, Evan Johnson, which we all knew really anyway. With James's track record and how he loves to flirt with straight men and try and seduce them, I fully believed Kayla. For sure, straight out the gate. How James was talking to Kayla about wanting her man. It seems like James Charles did not care about Kayla at all and was just using her to try and get to her ex-boyfriend, which is kind of what we all thought originally in the first place. So anyway, that's part 1. Here is part 2.
So basically, obviously, I don't expect him to ask me, oh, well, what happened? And I don't expect him to want to know the full story. I get being uncomfortable doing that, but I 100% think that in these messages, I made it crystal fucking clear that what he put me through was not okay, it was not normal, and it was an abusive relationship. I just think I made that clear. And no, we were not best friends. No, I wouldn't even consider us close, but we were acquaintances, and he knew me more than he knew Evan. He met Evan through me. I've known James, like, at the end of the day, he knows me more than he knows Evan. So it's like, with that information, with what I told you, it should have been okay, I understand, and move on. There should not be a second part to this. It should have ended right there, and then none of this shit would have happened. There wouldn't be a drama. There wouldn't be a fucking, like, this wouldn't be a fucking drama if it ended where it should have. And in my opinion, if you have good morals, it would have ended there. I know people in my life that I have, like, am acquaintances with, and they would not do that to me, and I would not do that to them. I would not do this to people that I've even collabed with once. I wouldn't do that to somebody. So in my opinion, it should have fucking ended there. And there should have been no communication between him and Evan past that point. But obviously that didn't happen. So a week after I send those text messages, me and Evan are broken up, obviously, but we were not on no communication yet. And so this was, literally the day before I go live and say that I was in an abusive relationship. This was the day before I officially made it no contact and realized, holy shit, what, like, I wake up basically. So me and Evan have our final call. And this is when Evan says to me, if you tell people what I did to you, that means you never love me. That's when he said all of that on the phone. It was our last ever conversation. But in the beginning of that phone call, while we're talking, he brings up me making a 30-part series. And I immediately am like, how the fuck do you know that? And he quote said a 30-part series. The only fucking person that I texted about making a 30-part series was James. James was the only person I told about making a quote 30-part series. Once again, I don't know how true this is. He was abusive. He was, like, literally, like, we all know by now. But Evan told me that James had sent him screenshots of our messages warning Evan that I was going to make a 30-part series. Once again, don't know how true that is, but it makes fucking sense because on the phone, Evan literally said, so are you going to make that 30-part series about me? And in the text messages, once again, in the messages, I quite literally quote, tune in for the 30-part Who the Fuck Did I Marry series. Cool, like, the fuck? So allegedly, apparently, from what I was told, is that right after sending those text messages telling James that we broke up, James went and DM'd him on Instagram, sent him those text messages to warn him, and then they started to create a friendship. And obviously, that forms to be true when about a month after all of this, I still have not spoken out publicly. The only thing I've done is go on live and say that I was in an abusive relationship. I was not ready to talk about the details of it. Still healing, okay? But I'm scrolling on Snapchat and I see that Evan had posted a Snapchat in the exact area that James lives, in a backyard that looked identical to James's backyard. And immediately I was like, there's no fucking way. Because this was about a month after I had been told that they were DMing. Why are y'all DMing for a fucking month? The fuck? So I text James and I'll just green screen them again. And mind you, the last time that we texted was me telling him that we broke up, okay? I text him on March 1st saying, this is so random, hope you're doing good. Are you with Evan? He says, what? Your ex Evan? Doesn't say yes, doesn't say no. I said, yes, posted a picture, looked like your backyard. He goes, why would Evan be in my backyard? Later to find out that he was in his backyard and that James had flown him out to California and they spent the entire fucking weekend together. And honestly, if you knew you weren't doing anything wrong, why didn't you just straight up answer my fucking question and say, yeah, he's here, we're friends? Like, And in James's video, he was saying that, oh, well, he seemed depressed and sad and like he needed a friend. I have a lot to say about that, but first thing, if you're just being there for a friend and that you think he's a good person, why do you feel the need to have to lie to me about it? If you truly don't think you're doing anything wrong, why did you lie? Why did you lie about it? And then also keep it such a secret. Second off, you're being there for a quote friend that is your ex or your friends, acquaintances, ex-boyfriend that I told you was abusive. Like, what the fuck? It's just like, moral of the story is like, you obviously knew you were doing something fucking wrong if you had to lie to me about it, you know? So that entire weekend that they're together, I drive past James's house to see if I could see anything, because I was like, I need fucking proof. Like, I know they're together, but I need proof because I'm so pissed. Obviously don't see anything, and at this point I'm just, I don't know what's going on. I have no proof, but I have a gut feeling that they are together, that they are hanging out. Fast forward another month. Me and James do not text. Nobody ever comes clean about anything. Nobody says anything, nothing. I release my he doesn't love you, and I talk about everything that he had done to me. And me and James still are not talking. He still does not text me and say, hey, I'm sorry, doesn't try to explain himself, nothing. And in my opinion, that's because he didn't think he'd get caught. He didn't think I'd find out, so he had no reason to tell me firsthand. And that's why this shit really pisses me off. I end up texting James, asking to FaceTime for a segment on my podcast because Jacob had this funny idea that we were going to FaceTime James and James is going to be like, ew, Jacob, and then like hang up. It was supposed to be like this funny bit. I could include screenshots. Literally the next text a month later, after me asking if he had flown my ex-boyfriend out, I literally just say, hey, totally normal conversation. He does not bring it up, nothing. At this point, I don't have proof to back up my theory, so cool, whatever. But yeah, he doesn't say anything, acts like everything is normal. So then it is Coachella weekend, a couple weeks later, and a video is posted exposing James to have flown my ex-boyfriend out to California. The second that this video goes public, James starts to blow up my phone, asking if I'm at Coachella, saying that we need to talk. I immediately already knew what he was talking about. Are you at Coachella? Yeah, I am. Can I talk to you? I shut it down. I don't want to fucking talk to you. He says, I felt guilty for weeks and I didn't know how to tell you and I owe the truth. I explained it to you from my mouth, not the Zach guy, and then you can feel however you want to. To me, it's quite ironic that you suddenly feel guilty about this the second that it's made public. You know what I mean? Like, you suddenly feel guilty once, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I text him, I've known for a while, but I saw the proof today. I'm just shocked. There's a ton to explain. I'm annoyed with myself for allowing you to find out this way instead of just telling you myself. I say, okay. He then says, he manipulated me as well, and I fell for it. To when I then reply, I got so pissed off. How did you get to the point for him to manipulate you? I told you he abused me the day we broke up. Then you texted him that day that I told you that. But I'd rather talk to you about this tomorrow. You met him because he was my boyfriend. After that, James did try to reach out multiple times. He wanted to meet up and talk, and I'll give him credit for that. I can tell he feels guilty. He was blowing me up for days and days after that. Wrote me long paragraphs, just a lot of stuff. I personally decided not to respond. I decided not to meet up with him because, quite frankly, what the fuck do you have to say? And after waiting for him to come out with his response video, I'm honestly happy I didn't meet up with him to hear what he had to say, because it clears up nothing for me. What happened, happened. You knew he was my abusive ex-boyfriend. I'm gonna have to make a part fucking 3. Jesus fucking Christ. Once again, not on the payment program. I'm not doing this for money. I literally am not making a dime from this. Once again, just clocking the fucking tea. I did not expect this to be 30 fucking minutes.
It is so messy, this situation, and trying to keep up with it all is just crazy. But the way, I cannot believe James Charles literally went to Evan Johnson, warned him that Kayla's making like 30-part exposed series on you. James isn't even friends with either of them like that. Why are you doing that? It's just such weird behavior. And as Kayla says, just to get with someone's partner who you're like somewhat friends with, you're acquaintances with, like Kayla and James Charles were never good friends, but they would like, you know, collaborate on projects, do influencer stuff together, like they knew of each other. To try and like get with someone's boyfriend behind their back and get involved in this messy breakup and stuff is just like such POS behavior, let's be realistic. And mix that in with the fact that James Charles knew exactly what was going on with KAYLA MALEC and Evan Johnson and why they broke up, just adds more layers of disgust. And it's interesting to know that James Charles gets caught and then is messaging Kayla straight away, backtrack, because obviously they know they're going to get cancelled for this if it gets out. They're only apologising because they got caught. Anyway, this is such a mess, but here's the final part of Kayla's series on TikTok. So here's the last part for you guys right here.
I'm just going to end this here. I just think it's a load of bullshit. And watching the apology video quite literally pissed me off even more, because I can genuinely appreciate to where you now feel guilty. And I don't think that you still support him. I don't think that at all. I know once I posted the proof, you probably dropped him. I'm not doubting that. It's the fact that my word was not believed. My text messages of me saying that it was abusive, that he did the worst things a human could possibly do, those were taken lightheartedly. And then you went and DM'd him and formed a friendship with my ex-boyfriend, believed everything he was saying about being depressed and suicide, and you wanted to sit there and be there for him, and you believed everything that came out of his mouth, but not mine? That's fucking crazy to me. How are you gonna sit there and take everything to heart that my ex-boyfriend is saying that you met through me, but not what I'm saying? That makes zero fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Or do I sound delusional? Am I just like salty? Ew, that was so cringy to say. Or, like, genuinely, do I just sound bitter in this situation? Do I sound bitter, or like, do I have a fucking point? I do not think that if I did not find out through TikTok and if this shit was not made public, I do not think I would have ever found out. I don't think I ever would have received a "I felt guilty for weeks" text. I don't think I would have gotten that at all. I do not think I would have gotten an apology, or he would have owned up to it and texted me about it if it had not been made public. And I think there's proof to that because he kept it a secret literally up until he went public with it. And then also it does leave a bad taste in my mouth that, listen, I get it. If your name's being slandered and you want to clock that shit, fucking clock it. I get it. But to do it an hour after I win the court case is fucking crazy, in my opinion. An hour, 1 hour after I announced that I win the court case, here's a 10-minute video, and all my comments are now flooded with, "Did you see James's new video?" You couldn't even wait till the fucking 8th? Like, that's crazy to me. And I get it. I get it. You wanted to clear the air. I get that. But to not even wait 3 hours? Not even an hour and a half? What the fuck? I mean, at that point, damn. Sorry. I'm just like, I'm crashed out. Like, it has been so hard to sit here and not say fucking shit when all of this is going on, and then seeing the apology video, I don't know. I just have a lot of thoughts, and I don't think this is like a pick sides thing. I don't think there's sides in this. It's just a story. I think that he fucked up. James fucked up, and he fucked me over, and it was a shitty thing to do. I do find it interesting, though, that James posted conversation receipts with everybody. Me, a clip from my sister's live stream, like everybody's receipts except for his Instagram DMs with my ex-boyfriend. If they're not already deleted. And I don't know. I think the timing of everything was weird. I think the receipts were odd. That's basically my side of the story. They had been DMing in Hawaii in January while we were still together. James would only DM me to say how hot he was. Apparently, from what I was told, which I don't know how trustworthy my abusive ex was, but told me that James had DM'd him the day that we broke up. So I don't know. And also, I do think it is fishy to create such a friendship with somebody off of being attracted to them. Because I don't know what the fuck they would have in common besides the fact that James thought he was hot. And then to fly him out, I don't know. I don't know if I could think a guy was really hot, fly him out, and just like want a friendship. I don't fucking know. There's just so much going through my head. But yeah, no, moral of the story, I appreciate acknowledging how you feel guilty. I appreciate acknowledging what you did. I just don't think that would have happened at all if you hadn't been caught for it. But yeah, that's my side, and I don't fucking know what else to say. Holy fucking shit, this has been like the hardest thing to keep my mouth shut on. But yeah, this was a lot longer than I thought it would need to be. I thought it was only gonna be a 10-minute video, but holy fucking shit. A bitch is pissed. A bitch has been pissed. And I've just wanted to sit here and relish in the court shit, but for some fucking how, James made this like a drama. Or James didn't, I don't know who the fuck did it, but this whole thing became like a fucking drama. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I'm still trying to process winning court, let alone all of this bullshit. But yeah. I don't fucking know, y'all. This shit is just as confusing to me as it is to y'all. I don't know what the fuck happened while they were in LA. I'll never fucking know the truth, but I don't know. I'm just gonna stop talking. I feel like I could honestly talk about this for hours. I could literally go on about this for hours, but yeah. Love y'all. Happy Wednesday. I feel like old me wouldn't have even fucking like said shit, but I'm so past the point of like letting shit fucking slide. I was fucked over, so I don't know. I don't feel bad telling my side when everybody else got to tell theirs, and I'm not trying to make this a fucking drama, but it became one when you flew my ex-boyfriend out. Oh, I talk too much. I fucking talk too much. This is 30 fucking minutes. Jesus Christ.
So like I said previously, I think James Charles apologising and dropping Yvonne Johnson as soon as KAYLA comes out with all the receipts and the proof, that is not good enough at all to justify why he's done what he's done. Went behind her back, manipulated them both, was trying to get with Evan Johnson since day one, saw this as an opportunity to just sneak straight in there because James Charles only cares about himself, invite Evan Johnson around his place in California. It's just creepy, predatory behaviour. And it just confirms this is what James Charles is probably like with minors that's come out a million times. This is what James Charles does. Goes on Instagram, goes on Snapchat, grooms, manipulates, sees an opportunity, jumps straight in. Anyway, I really am just shocked how James Charles even still has popularity amongst people, if I'm honest with you. I think what it is the younger generations don't really know what's gone on with James Charles in the past, but this is the first like scandal James Charles has got into in the past like 5-10 years, whatever it's been since the whole Dramageddon thing. So I think this is like the the new generation's introduction to this is what James Charles is like. But anyway guys, that is everything for this video. Absolute mess. If you guys can keep up with it all, you know, congratulations, because even though I'm struggling to keep up with all of this. But anyway, guys, let me know down below what your thoughts, what your opinions, and that is it for this video, guys. So like and subscribe to my channel for more of me and you want to, baby. Hit the bell notification to be notified and pop up on your screen with a new video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Mwah.